Some movie theaters were worried about possible violence this weekend when the hip-hop biopic Straight Outta Compton hit the screen, but instead, all the hype and the heightened security only led to longer lines, ticket lines, and also some big money, too.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Hey, that was dope, eh?
Compton's very own Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre. I gotta tell you, you are witnessing history.
Straight Outta Compton is the real-life story of the hip-hop group NWA with the backdrop of the late 80s L.A. gang culture and street life. And it made an estimated $56.1 million, a box office record for an R-rated movie debuting in August. It more than doubled its projections and more than tripled the weekend's #2 movie, Mission Impossible. Joining me now live from Atlanta, CNN law enforcement analyst Cedric Alexander, who's a member of the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing. So, Cedric, thanks so much for coming back on about this topic. I wanted to ask you, as we went into the weekend, there was a lot of question as to whether certain theaters really needed security, additional security, for this film. And as it turned out, film went off without a hitch. There were no problems anywhere. Critics are saying, see, we told you so. Others are saying it's because the security was there. How do you weigh in?
Well, you know, in light of everything that's going on in the country, I think that theaters took the right choice by making sure that not knowing, because so much is unpredictable today in our society. And, of course, this is a movie that for some creates some concern. But, however, there was no reported, that I'm aware of, no reported incidents. So I think that speaks hugely to the crowds that went to watch this movie.
There are some police organizations that are calling on people, their members and maybe even beyond their members, not to see this movie because of the message they think it sends. Some say, no, this is a reflection of the time. Others say this could actually gin up a lot of anti-police sentiment. What are your thoughts?
Well, let me start by saying this. First of all, I think any time that you use that kind of language, F the police, is very derogatory, it's very disrespectful, and it certainly does not, it really has no place for as I'm concerned. There are a lot of men and women out there every day who are carrying out this job, putting their lives on the line. So I'm offended by it, and I'll speak for thousands of other police officers that are out there as well, too. That is very offensive. However, to your question, I was a police officer back in the mid-'80s when this song first came out. We didn't understand, maybe because of our own youth at that time, the volatility of what that may have projected, particularly during a time in Dade County, Florida, when we were coming up off a great deal of civil unrest around a number of events that had occurred as well, too. But I think a lot actually has been done to build those relationships across this country between police and community, and still a lot has to be done as well, too. But we really have to uphold our police officers, get away from this whole F the police to support the police, and the police as well continue to support their communities. That's where we have to go. We know how we got where we are, but it's about trying to get to the place we still need to get to.
And I love that you're looking forward, but I also want to look back, because that's what the movie's doing. It's looking back at some really harsh realities for black people, especially if they were involved in hip-hop culture at the time. And then you tell me, you know, you were a black beat cop back in the 80s, you know, probably pretty young on the job, etc. Did you have a feeling for the dynamic at the time between officers and the black community? Did you feel a strangeness about it, or were you just learning the ropes from the get-go?
Well, all of us were, you know, were rather concerned about the lyric itself, F the police. It was hurtful to us because we knew what we were out there trying to do. Not just black officers, white officers, Hispanic, Asian, men, women. We all were out there trying to do the very best that we could to keep a positive light in our community and to move through the struggles at that time. And that's what the men and women are doing today, all across all domains, white, black, LBGT communities. Everyone is working closely together to help bridge those gaps. So here again, as a young police officer, and those of us that were there during that time, we did not let it bother us. We stayed focused on what our mission was, and that was to serve and to protect. And we're going to continue to do that today. But it's important that the American people understand that that type of language towards police is very derogatory. very hurtful, it's very painful, and there's no place for it because we got to bridge this gap. And that is what's critically important as we move forward into the 21st century. And that's what the whole 21st Century Task Force was about, moving and progressing policing, progressing our communities as well.
I think back to Gloria Steinem and the bra burning movements and the voice that was heard by doing something really incendiary. Pardon the pun, but burning bras got women's issues heard for the first time. And when you look back at the issues that black men were facing, mostly black men were facing on the street, was there any other way to get heard than to do something that was as, you know, as unpleasant as something like F the police?
Well, you know, I had an opportunity to watch the movie over the weekend. It's really more of a history of NWA than it is anything else, how they started and to be where they are today. So when those young men who lived that experience out in LA County at that time, that was probably their only way of projecting what their anger is. However, the flip side of that, we cannot paint with a broad brush that all police are bad, because they're not. Many, 99.9%, and some people will object to it, are out there doing the right thing every day. And those are the police officers we have to hold up. So yes, I understand what they experienced, and we understand what this country is going through today. But the way that we're going to move forward is what's important, to move away from this F the police to support the police and the police support community as well, too. That's where we got to be, Ashley, today.
I love having you on. Invitation
Thank you
every
for
day.
having me. Thank
Cedric
you.
Alexander, have a great day.
Thank you.